Hey everyone! Today we're doing something really exciting, and we are taking a look at a Kickstarter preview. So today's game is Homebrewers by Dice Hate Me Games. So Homebrewers is a competitive beer crafting game for 2 to 5 players. Players are going to be rolling dice and trading dice in order to brew the best beer. We're then going to show them off at Summerfest and Oktoberfest to see who has the highest quality of beer among the 4 categories, and at the end of the game, you're going to be trying to get the right flavors to appease the judges for bonus points. So I'm going to quickly go over the rules of the game, and then I'll share my thoughts afterwards. So let's get started. To begin, each player is going to choose a character to play as. Each character has a unique ability and a corresponding dashboard. The dashboards are also different as well. They will have a different number of brewing spaces, and each brewing space will raise the quality of the beer by a different amount. Now, the game itself takes place over the course of 8 rounds, with each round representing a month in the game. Players are going to be competing to brew the highest quality of beer while creating flavors that appeal to the judges. So what I'm going to do is quickly explain how one round works, and then we're going to come back to the final scoring. So each round is broken down into 2 phases, the trading phase and the action phase. In the trading phase, everyone is going to roll 3 dice, which represents the actions they can take during their turn. Players can then trade these dice with other players, and they can also spend $1 to change a die to any given value. These actions can be repeated until all players are satisfied with their results. In addition, if a player has the same 3 faces on all of their dice, they can reroll everything for free. Once players are satisfied with their dice results, we're going to move on to the action phase. On a turn, there are 5 different actions that you can take. The first action is the flavor shot action. When you take the flavor shot action, you can either take one of the cards in the communal pile, or you can play a card that's already in your hand. When you play it from your hand, you can either play it for a one-time effect as shown on the bottom, or onto the beer as part of a recipe. When it's part of a recipe, the ability will trigger every time you brew that type of beer, instead of it being a one-time effect. The recipe abilities of each card are shown on the top right. They allow you to gain additional effects such as money, quality increase, as well as victory points. The second action is the wheat action. The wheat action allows you to take one of the wheat tokens and place it on any of the 4 beers of your choice. These tokens are required when you want to take a brew action. The third action is the brew action. When you take the brew action, you remove a wheat token from the beer that you're going to brew and flip it over to show a dirty token instead. This is then placed on the top of your leftmost sanitation space on your dashboard. You then raise the quality of beer by the amount as indicated on that dashboard space, applying any additional flavor shot abilities as well. It's important to note that if your sanitation spaces are all full, you can't brew. The fourth action is the clean action. When you take the clean action, you remove a dirty token from your sanitation space. Lastly, the calendar die action allows you to take the top calendar action, or you can pay $2 to take the bottom calendar action, which is usually a little bit stronger. But depending on your needs, you can go with either one. Now, the actions will vary month by month, but the actions that you can take are basically the other 4 actions that we've previously discussed. They're just randomly shuffled and dealt out for each month during the game. In addition, once per turn, you can also spend $3 to take an additional die action of your choice. Once all players have taken their turn, you can begin a new round by taking everyone's dice back and flipping over the new calendar action for the next month. So as you play through the game, there are going to be 2 points where you stop and check the scores. So the first time it happens is Summerfest, and the second time is at the end of the game during Oktoberfest. At the end of the Summerfest round, you're going to score bonus points for each type of beer. Whoever has the highest quality will gain 4 points, whoever has the second most will gain 2, and whoever has the third most will gain 1. This is then repeated for all 4 types of beer. In the case of Oktoberfest, this is repeated except first place gets 8, second place gets 5, third place gets 2, and any other player gets 1 point as long as they've increased the quality of that type of beer by at least 1. After the Oktoberfest scoring, You then check to see if you've pleased the 5 judges that are on the board. So in our example, you'll get 5 victory points if you have at least 3 flavor shots in one recipe. You'll get 4 victory points if you have 2 yellow, 2 pink, and 2 brown flavor shots in any of your recipes. You'll get 5 victory points if you have 4 flavor shots spread out amongst all your recipes. And you'll get 6 victory points if you have at least 2 flavor shots in one recipe, 2 flavor shots in a second recipe, and 2 flavor shots in a third recipe. In addition, you'll also get 2 times the quality of the lowest recipe at Oktoberfest. So in this case, this would be the lowest for green, so they would score 2. However, for orange, their lowest recipe would be 3, so they would score 6 victory points instead. It's important to note that multiple people can score these 5 judge bonuses. They're not restricted to one person. After tallying those points and converting every $3 to 1 victory point, you can then check who's the winner. So even though I'm not a beer connoisseur myself, I still really enjoyed this game. It was very easy to teach in that we would sort of just go through a sample round and everyone would understand the vast majority of the rules. So the most interesting part of the game for me is that it's not actually a direct race to the top of the quality track. Something you have to keep in mind are the judges for the end of the game, and they might require you to split them up amongst different recipes. The other factor is that once you reach the highest level of quality for one type of beer, you actually can't brew it anymore. So all those advantages that you're gaining every time you brew, if you're all the way at the top of the quality track already, you can't do it anymore. That's why in some cases, brewing for a lower quality will actually be beneficial to you because then you can reap those benefits from the flavor shots multiple times. So there are a few additional things I enjoyed as well. The first is the dice trading component of the game. So it adds a little bit of player interactivity to the game. For the most part, you're just sort of resolving your actions and trying to beat each other. But at the beginning of the round, you can sort of make some trades with each other, make some mutually beneficial trades in some cases, or additionally, just trade for a die so you can get your 3 sets, and then you can re-roll your dice again. The other thing that I like is the variable setup. So you've got these that you can randomly set up for the games, and then you've got the calendar actions as well. So this adds a bit of variability, so you're not playing the same game every time, and this will make a difference. Even I was noticing it during my playthroughs, and it just keeps the game a little bit fresher. So lastly, I really enjoyed the character abilities in this game. I found that they were very unique, and that ties back to that replayability factor I was talking about. In addition, they're not so strong that they shoehorn you into one specific strategy whenever you play a given character. I found that regardless of who you played, you could still do your own thing and play to your own style. So to recap, if you're looking for a light strategy game that also requires a lot of careful planning, then Homebrewers is the right game for you. If you have any additional questions or if there's anything that I missed, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And just as a quick reminder that some of these components are still in a prototype early form, so the final product might look a little bit different than what you see here. So once again, this was Homebrewers by Dice Hate Me Games. Thanks for watching.